What's up everyone, it is Shay and I have a new video for you guys, and in this video I'm going to be discussing, well, not really discussing, but doing a review on the show and the book 13 Reasons Why. Now I'm sure many of you guys have probably heard of this show even if you haven't seen the actual show because of the controversy that surrounds it. And because of that, I'm going to put a disclaimer right here at the beginning of the video for two reasons. Number one, the show deals very much with suicide, as will this review, because I'm going to be discussing that topic. So if you are triggered by the topic of suicide, I wouldn't suggest watching this video. And also, if you are someone that has not seen the show or has not read the book and you plan to do either one of those, also do not watch this video because there will be some spoilers. All right, you guys, let's get started. So now, once again, the show 13 Reasons Why premiered on Netflix on March 31st of this year, and the show revolves around a girl by the name of Hannah Baker, whom commits suicide and leaves behind 13 tapes that talk about the reason why she decided to commit suicide. Also, along with the tapes, there are 13 people whom she names within those tapes, involving various scenarios that she had with them or various conversations that she had with them. And basically those 13 people are supposed to listen to these tapes. And once they finish with listening to all of them, they then pass the tapes on to the next person that is on the list, or basically the next person that is mentioned on the tapes. So basically one person is mentioned in tape 1, tape 2, tape 3, tape 4, tape 5. And whoever's number 1 passes it on to the person who is named in tape 2. And so on and so forth. But there's a catch. If you are on the tapes, and let's say you listen to the tapes but you do not pass them on, or you decide not to listen to the tapes, there's a second set of tapes that is made and that has been handed off to a sole individual whom, in the event that this does happen, will then release the tapes, and everyone will know about why exactly Hannah Baker decided to kill herself. Now, the series as a whole revolves around several different characters, but generally it seems that the main character is Clay. Now, Clay is named on the tapes, and he is handed the tapes. Not handed tapes, the tapes are dropped off at his house, and he is then forced to listen to them and to understand what exactly happened to Hannah Baker. The entire show basically revolves around him listening to these tapes and trying to understand, number one, why Hannah decided to kill herself, and number two, how he played a role in it. And basically in the show, Hannah is talking about the various scenarios of things that happened regarding the people that she names on these tapes. So like I mentioned before, I both watched the show and I read the book, and both are variously different from each other. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is in the book. So in the book, it revolves mainly around Clay, and Clay decides to gets the tapes, and he kind of immediately starts listening to them. Once he starts listening to them, inside of the case that the tapes come in, there's also a map. And when he listens to the tapes, Hannah Baker has the map, tells them where to look on the map and kind of like where to go if they want to see exactly where she was at the time that this particular event decided to happen or to take place. And then from there, listen to the tapes, he kind of goes through all of these emotions, trying to figure them out, and he has a friend by the name of Tony. So Tony is his friend, and Tony is the one that he ultimately ends up getting the tape cassette player from, so that he can listen to them while he's riding his bike and things like that. But basically the book just revolves around Clay, him learning about what happened, him learning about once again what exactly happened and how he plays a role. Now in the show, it still revolves around Clay, but for some strange reason he interacts with the other characters that are mentioned on these tapes, and it does revolve around them. And also you learn a lot more about the various characters that are involved. So you learn about why she became friends with this girl named Jessica, and you actually physically meet, not physically, but you actually meet the girl, you understand her background and stuff like that, along with other various characters. The biggest differences though between them is basically the relationships that the characters have with each other, and what characters are introduced and what characters are not, or what characters play a bigger role. So in the book, Hannah Baker's parents are very much mentioned in the book, but he does not interact with her parents whatsoever. In the book, it's only mentioned that he goes by the shop that her parents own, which is a pharmacy, but he never actually talks to her parents. In the show, her parents are greatly more involved, and this is because the show has a very different vibe to it compared to the book. The show very much has a deeper storyline, whereas it seems that the parents are suing the school, the high school that Hannah goes to, because they feel that she was bullied, and which is why that she commits suicide. So the show 13 Reasons Why very much revolves around a court case that is trying to happen between the school and Hannah's parents, and them trying to figure out what exactly happened. Not only that, but the kids are very much different. So in the show, the kids that have been on the tapes have very much started to basically rally together to try and either debunk the stories that Hannah Baker has told, or to basically kind of feel guilty for the things that they may or may not have done on those tapes, and kind of feel guilty for their actions regarding why exactly Hannah Baker decided to do what she did. And the book, though, does not have any of that. The only person really dealing with any sort of emotions is Clay. He's the only one that you really learn as far as his emotions of learning these things about his classmates. And in the show, he learns it, but then he's also reacting to it. So in the show, he does various things to kind of get revenge for Hannah towards the people that have hurt her. There's also a bigger time difference between both of them. So in the book, Clay seems to listen to the tapes in one entire night. That's what it seems like. It doesn't seem like it takes him a long time. He listens to the tapes within a night, and at the end of the book, it's him passing on the tapes. Actually, at the beginning of the book, it explains him passing on the tapes, but then you learn how he got them, and then at the end, it once again takes you back to him actually handing off these tapes and mailing them off to the next person that is supposed to get them. While in the show, he takes forever to listen to the tapes, especially to get to his own tape, which understands because they're trying to give you 13 episodes. And with that happening, he takes him forever to listen to the tapes, and he's wanting to get revenge. But you also, strangely enough, get more in tune with Clay's psyche and how it's kind of working for him. He starts to go crazy. He starts to have nightmares. He starts to envision him doing things that don't actually happen, and so on and so forth. And he doesn't really give into that pressure of trying to hang out with the kids that are also on the tapes. And he also does something very different with the tapes concerning passing them on. He does not pass them on to the next person, because he already knows that the next person that's supposed to be in line to get these tapes will not actually listen to them. And if they do listen to them, they will not pass them on. So he actually skips person number 12 and goes to person 13, because Clay is number 11. And that's basically kind of what's going on in the show. In the show also, the tapes are ultimately released. That's literally what ends up happening in the show. They release the tapes, and the tapes aren't necessarily released. People are told of the tapes. So now the court knows about them, or the people who are trying to take this case to court know about them. Hannah Baker's parents know about the tapes, and it's very, very different. So in some ways, you have to treat both as separate mediums. So if you've read the book, you've read the book, but you should still definitely watch the show, because it's a whole new take on the book. And honestly, I'm not upset about it. There were some parts of the show that I really liked, and I'm glad that they introduced compared to the book. So I can see why some people have a weird controversy with it. The show very much not only dealt with the matter of suicide, but also kind of recognizing the signs of someone who is feeling those feelings, but also to understand a lot of times the people whom are involved, their feelings, and kind of like how they, in a weird way, should be responsible if they are a cause of that. And also kind of sometimes the stereotypes that go along with it. For example, people saying they thought Hannah was weak because she did it. Also people thinking that suicide was something just to joke around with, when in reality it's not a joking topic. In the book, it doesn't really focus on these themes. It really just focuses on you, kind of like a mystery of you trying to figure out why Clay's on the tapes, what exactly did he do, and also trying to figure out also the various characters that are involved. The biggest character being Tony. Tony's in both the show and the book, but his connection with Clay is kind of different. In the book, he is definitely more so there as kind of just to watch over, to see the people as they get the tapes involved, because he's the one that has the second set. But in the show, he's kind of like a weird confidant to her parents. It's totally crazy. As you all know, there's a second season of 13 Reasons Why that is going to be released, and it seems like it's coming out next year. There's not much to say about it beyond my whole thinking is that it's going to revolve more around the court case, since the show ended with Hannah's parents listening to tape number 1. So that's how I feel like it's going to end. That's how it ended, and it also ended with one character who's mentioned on the tapes also somehow getting shot, and the whole premise around that has not yet been revealed regarding what exactly happened. And there's a lot of things going on. A lot of different kids are involved in the show, and you learn so much more about these kids, and you learn a lot more about what's going on in their home life and stuff like that you didn't learn about them in the books, which is kind of cool and kind of interesting, because you start to understand, you get more in the personalities of these kids, while in the books you have no connection to the other kids beyond Clay, while on the show you start to have more of a connection with them, because they had to basically make up their entire background, because their background in the book is not there, but there's a background for them in the show. So definitely check it out. There are some tough points regarding this show that are very much shown. For example, you do see a girl get raped. 2 girls in the show do get raped, and you also do see the ultimate death of Hannah Baker. They do show her suicide on camera, and those scenes were very tough to watch. So once again, if you are easily triggered by those themes, do not watch this show. And if you are someone is dealing with thoughts of suicide, then definitely help them to seek help and be there for them. And if you are someone that is dealing with that, definitely call the suicide hotline. Do not be ashamed of calling it. You can also chat with them. They can be very, very helpful. So I will leave those links down below, as well as to various websites for anyone who is dealing with anything like that. So yeah, if you haven't seen the show 13 Reasons Why, definitely watch it. I try my best not to give spoilers, but once again, I said there are probably going to be. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you've seen the show, comment down below on what you guys thought of it. Once again, this was just a review. I'm not going to the controversy revolving around this particular show. If you want me to go more in depth as far as my opinion on the show and the controversy involved, comment down below. Maybe I'll make a video about it later. But yeah. All right, you guys, I have a new video out for you guys on Saturday. I think it's going to be a manga review. I'll also give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will leave links to my social media account down below. All right, you guys, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.